The fraud case against former Transnet executives has been postponed to October 14th. The group appeared in the Palmerage Specialised Crimes Court today. They face charges of fraud, corruption, money laundering and contravention of the Public Finance Management Act. The 93 million rand fraud case relates to a 2012 Transnet contract to secure funding for just over 1,000 locomotives. To get you more on that story, take you straight to the Palmerage Specialised Crimes Court. Kopano Gumbi is our reporter on the story. And Kopano, so we're dealing now with two sets, am I right, of accused, all related to one case.
Well, it's more like the four new people that we saw appear today, it was their first appearance, are being added to this existing case. So at the beginning of, or at the end of May, when the first 6 people appeared, including the former Transnet CEO, Gumbi, they were charged with the fraud, money laundering and corruption related to this 93 million rand double payment on work that had already been done. Now we've added 4 more very senior former executives of Transnet as well, including Anoj Singh, the former CFO, and Brian Molefe, who was the former group CEO of the organization, all of them being added to that charge sheet. Similar charges, fraud, corruption and money laundering, all of it, as we understand it right now, relating to that 93 million rand contract. Now, many of the defense attorneys have been concerned about the delays in the case, and they're asking that this be the final postponement before at least they see a full discovery of that charge sheet, see everything that their clients are being charged with, and trying to get a sense of how they're going to proceed with their cases after being able to see that. They all say that they assume it's related to Transnet given all the people that are here, but that they haven't had sight of a full and comprehensive charge sheet, which the NPA have now committed to at least having ready by the 14th of October. So we'll be able at that point then to unpack some of the detail behind this case, Timbigile.
So, Kopano, we're waiting for more detail, right? Because, and I think it was Anoj Singh's legal rep who now wants the state to say whether or not more people will possibly be added to the line of accused and what exactly is going to be in the legal, shall we say, paperwork that will state what it is that they're alleged to have done. But based on where we are with the story, from when Gumbi and the others were arrested, what are the Transnet executives, I beg your pardon, accused of doing?
Well, Timbigile, that's a very interesting point, that they're accused of money laundering, fraud and corruption. Now, we'll recall that, in fact, Transnet, the amount of state capture at Transnet played a key feature in the final report that was released by the Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. And he found that, in fact, Transnet throughout 2011, or from 2011 to 2017, there was around 54 billion rand worth of state capture that happened, and illicit flows of money that all took place at that organization. And so what the MPA have uncovered now with this 93 million is a part of that entire state capture I guess we could call it the entire state capture apparatus, or the modus operandi of state capture. So what we see is that the 93 million was for a contract that had already been paid to Regiment's Capital for consulting work when it came to those 1064 locomotives. And so the concern around this was that they all signed off and participated in a double payment for work that had not only already been done, but had already been paid for as well. And so that is how we've come to this number, Timbigile.
We also got an update today on Brian Molefe's health, as well as what he's been doing, studying law. There was also a bit of interesting detail around bail and how he would fund it as a result.
Absolutely. Brian Molefe telling the courts today through his lawyers that, in fact, he is on pension or receives some kind of pension, as well as doing some state work, and so was asking for the court to be somewhat lenient on the amount of money that he would pay for his bail application. We know that Brian Molefe has been riddled with a number of cases against him, including for his time there at ESCOM. In fact, Timbigile, I'm just going to turn away now quickly to the prosecutor, the national prosecuting spokesperson, who's joining us now to talk to us about the latest developments on the case. Indisiwe, thank you for your time. Let's talk about the findings. 4 more people have been added to the case. Do you expect more?
Most certainly, we have made those commitments to court that more persons will be added, but we must also state that we're also going to start the extradition process of 2 other persons. This is Salim Essa and Ashok Narayan. The NPA has also told the various accused before court that we are doing our best to basically add those further accused, wrap up investigations as best as we can. However, if we find more information, we're definitely going to have a look at that.
Now, the defense have argued that perhaps the state is not ready to see this case through given the postponements. How do you respond to that?
Firstly, the defense are employed by their various accused, so they are duty-bound to then try their best to try and destabilize the state's case. However, we are confident with what we've brought to court, and once we've completed bringing all the accused before court, we'll then provide the final indictment, and then that can be read into the record.
Manentlin Tete from SABC News. Do you believe that you have a strong case at this stage?
So the main task and role of the NPA is to make sure that we bring cases to court that we believe stand the test. Currently, we believe that those particular cases that we're bringing to court stand the test, including this particular one. However, it's not in our purview or in our mandate to then dictate as to whether they will be successful or not in court.
Okay. And talk to us about the details of this, the case, the matter, the funds and the charges against the accused.
So we're looking at 2 particular transactions, but all pertain to the advisory services around the 1064 locomotive deal at Transnet. So this also includes the 93.4 million that was initially paid to Trillion, and then a specific portion of that then paid to Albertime through our allegations as to why the accused are here. The next amount is about 305 million, which pertains to other irregularities or advisory services that pertain to the club loan, which also assisted in the getting of the 1064 locomotive deal. So that takes the grand figure to about 398.4 million that these particular accused stand accused for. The charges are breach of the Public Finance Management Act and fraud for the former execs, and fraud and corruption for the others, barring Mr. Kubentharan Moodley, who stands accused of money laundering.
So my name is Tando Mayako from Business Day. We understand that these are part of the 9 seminal cases of state capture that the NPA is pursuing. The NPA has given itself 6 months since the release of the final part of the state capture report to finalize these cases. There's only 3 months left of that 6 months. Is the NPA confident that it can reach its own set deadline to finalize those cases, or at least make some arrests?
So, like you've mentioned, we have the NDPP, which is my boss's boss, had committed the seminal matters, 9 seminal matters. I speak for the NPA Investigating Directorate, so 3 from our side have already been committed and have been enrolled. More can be expected from our side. However, for the final tally, that's for the entire NPA to commit.
Sindisiwe Siboka there from the Investigative Directorate, Tembekile, just giving us an update on the latest from this case that we've heard here today. Back to you.
Kopano, thank you very much for that update from the court.